Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Conflict Zone. Please subscribe and like my videos. Today we are diving deep into one of the most shocking developments in the war between Ukraine and Russia, the audacious drone strike that hit the multi-billion-dollar skyscraper complex in Moscow, reputedly valued at around $2 billion. This is not just about a building. It is about changing dynamics of warfare, message sending, risk, and strategy. We will break it down in parts: exterior, interior, performance, safety features or protections, unique selling points, why this target mattered, price, cost, and value, and then a conclusion on what it all means. Let's start with the exterior. The towers in question form part of the Moscow City Business District, a modern, sprawling cluster of skyscrapers along the Moscow River. From the outside, these towers gleam with glass and steel, shimmering under the Moscow skyline, symbolizing modern Russia's ambition, wealth, and international business connectivity. The facade is dominated by reflective glass panels, sleek architectural lines, and high-end finishes. The building complex is enormous in scale, designed to host high-profile offices, luxury apartments, and premium amenities. Panoramic views, rooftop terraces, high-speed elevators, and the kind of prestige property that conveys power and influence. The sheer value of the site, the $2 billion figure often cited in media coverage, indicates not just real estate cost, but the symbolic value attached to such a target. From the outside, then, the towers serve as a landmark, as much a fortress of corporate status as it is a centerpiece of the city's skyline. When the drone strike reached the exterior, it shattered more than glass, it rattled an image and a message. The damage to the outer shell, broken windows, glass shards raining down, smoke rising signaled vulnerability. It exposed how even high-profile, fortified urban complexes are not immune to modern asymmetric attack. In doing so, the exterior becomes the first layer of story. Glitz meets threat, prestige meets infiltration. The skyline image of Moscow, often projected as untouchable, was pierced. Now turning to the interior, this is critical, and we'll spend a lot of time here. Imagine stepping into the lobby of the tower. Marble floors polished to a shine, tall glass doors, designer lighting, luxury signage, concierge desks, perhaps even an art installation or a water feature. The elevators whisk you up to high floors where gleaming office spaces line the windows, views stretching across the city. Inside, the offices are modern, ergonomic furniture, smart building infrastructure, advanced HVAC systems, integrated security, climate control, access badges, CCTV, premium finishes. There might be high-value tenants, international firms, high-net worth apartments, luxury amenities, executive floors, conference rooms with floor-to-ceiling windows, panoramic vistas, executive lounges, a view of the Moscow skyline or river. The interior is a place designed to impress, to signal power, stability, success. Now imagine that upon receiving a high-precision drone strike, the interior is thrown into chaos. Shards of glass from the facade raining into office floors, the ceiling panels ripped open by blast shock waves, dust and debris floating, the air filled with a haze of smoke. Desks overturned, monitors shattered, cables exposed, lights flickering, alarms wailing. The emergency lighting kicks in, backup systems engage, people spill out of conference rooms and offices. Evacuation corridors fill with suited professionals and service staff alike. The elevators are disabled for safety, stairwells become the escape route, security teams guide the occupants downward, fire suppression systems activate, sprinklers spray mist, hoses are wheeled out. The building's interior systems, ventilation, power distribution, network connectivity are disrupted. The smart building controls may lose links, doors lock or unlock unpredictably, windows automatic blinds malfunction. Executive lounges and premium amenities become untenable. The luxury aspect becomes an afterthought in the face of crisis. Inside, what was once a sanctuary of corporate prestige becomes a dynamic scene of vulnerability. The damage ripples outward. Office operations halt, tenants are evacuated, business interruption begins, legal and security teams mobilize. The psychological impact is severe when the sanctuary of business is breached, when the inner shells of power feel rattled. The message is clear: no place is safe. From an interior standpoint, this attack is not only a physical strike, but a symbolic one, penetrating the very heart of high-status space. It's about revealing fragility in what was meant to be impregnable. And it forces us to ask, how well protected are the interior systems? How recoverable is the business environment? What contingencies were in place? Those questions turn what was an interior luxury zone into a war's own reality check. Moving on to performance, what does performance mean in this context? It means how effectively the drones achieved their mission, penetrating air defenses, reaching the target, impacting it, delivering a message and damage. Reports show that Ukrainian drones were able to enter Moscow airspace, reach the business district, hit the target towers, and cause significant disruption. The performance of this strike suggests a level of precision, coordination, and effectiveness rarely seen in purely urban, high-value targets. From a technical viewpoint, this is impressive. Evading or overwhelming layered air defenses, navigating to a complex target environment, striking a skyscraper in a dense urban core, and doing so with sufficient effect to cause damage and draw headlines. The performance here also includes the speed of the strike, the element of surprise, the psychological effect, and the operational logistics behind launching, guiding, and executing the drones. In war tech terms, this signals a shift. Drones are no longer only for peripheral targets or reconnaissance. They are now capable of striking deep into high-value, iconic targets with effect. The result: the target not only suffers structural damage, but the broader message is delivered. Performance in this strike is measured not just by holes in the building, but by impact on morale, disruption of business, and global attention. Next, we consider safety features, or rather, what safety or protection features the target had and how they held up. These towers, being high-end business skyscrapers, almost certainly had significant safety and defense features. Structural engineering designed to resist blast loads to some extent, fire suppression systems, emergency egress routes, high-security access, CCTV and building management systems, redundant power backup generators, perhaps zone lockdown capabilities, advanced HVAC filtration, elevator safety features, and glass designed to mitigate shrapnel hazard. They likely had insurance, business continuity planning, and security protocols. Yet despite all these features, the drones were able to breach the defenses. That tells us something about the limitations of civilian safety features in the face of asymmetric weapons. The safety features may have prevented catastrophic collapse or massive casualty counts, but they did not prevent intrusion and damage. The building's structural core held firm enough to prevent total failure. The fire suppression and evacuation systems likely mitigated casualties. But the fact remains, when a luxury business tower in the heart of a capital can be struck, the safety assumptions are shaken. From an analysis perspective, this suggests that safety features need to be integrated with threat environments that perhaps were not initially envisaged. Low-signature drones, precision munitions, urban stand-off attacks. In future, safety features will need to adapt to these evolving threats. The message is, built-in luxury safety is not enough when a war's own reaches you. Now, let's talk about the unique selling points, in other words, why this target was specially selected, why it matters, and what makes it unique in the context of this conflict. First, the towers themselves are a symbol of modern Russian business wealth, of Moscow as a global center of Russian prestige. Hitting them sends a message: you are not immune, your centers of power and wealth can be reached. That symbolic component is a huge factor. Second, the complexity of the target, a high-rise business complex deep in a capital city, surrounded by other high-rises in a dense urban environment, with presumably heavy security. Successfully attacking such a target demonstrates capability, confidence, and resolve. Third, the value of the target, the $1.2 billion figure, is not just monetary but rhetorical. Reporting of the figure amplifies the shock. If a multi-billion-dollar icon can be struck, then others might be vulnerable. Fourth, the message to multiple audiences. To Russia, you can't keep hitting Ukraine with impunity. To the Ukrainian public, we have means to fight back. To the world, the nature of the war is changing. So the unique selling point is this: it is not just another target. It is a high-value, symbolic, complex target that amplifies the strategic effect of the strike. And finally, the logistical demonstration, showing that drones can strike deep, challenging defense lines and hit targets of this nature that is unique in this war's context. Regarding price and value, although we do not have exact public disclosures of how much this specific drone operation cost, we can draw inferences. On the value side, the target is valued around $1.2 billion as various sources indicate. The cost to Ukraine to launch a drone strike is far lower in comparison. Drones cost much less than manned aircraft or ballistic missiles, and the operational cost and risk may also be lower. Therefore, the cost-value ratio is heavily skewed, low cost, high impact. From a budget of war perspective, this kind of strike underscores how economically efficient drone warfare can be. On the other side, from Russia's viewpoint, the cost is enormous. Damage to property, disruption, reputational damage, increased security expenditure, business interruption, insurance claims, and perhaps increased internal risk of elite flight or relocation. So when we talk about price, in this context, the price paid by the aggressor Ukraine is relatively modest, while the value gained, both symbolic and tactical, is outsized. For the defending side, Russia, the price of allowing such a strike is high. Diminished aura of invulnerability, increased cost of defense, lowered confidence. So the price tag of the incident is both monetary and perceptual. Finally, in conclusion, what does all this mean for the war, for urban centers, and for the future of conflict? This strike on Moscow's multi-billion-dollar business towers demonstrates that the frontier of warfare is shifting. Cities previously considered off-limits or safe are now theaters of strategic vulnerability. The combination of advanced drones, precision navigation, persistence, and the will to strike targets across borders means that capitals, business hubs, high-value real estate, and symbolic centers can no longer rest on traditional assumptions of immunity. For Ukraine, this kind of strike boosts morale, signals capability, and shifts the narrative. Defense is not only about holding ground but about hitting back. For Russia, it raises questions about air defense sufficiency, urban vulnerability, business disruption, insurance, corporate confidence, and the strategic calculus of allowing war to move into the heart of the homeland. For global observers, this is a cautionary tale. Urban business centers, skyscrapers, and high-profile towers are now potential targets in modern asymmetrical conflict. The rules have changed. In practical terms, business operators in major cities may need to reassess risk. Insurers will factor in conflict risk even in non-combat zones. Architects and planners may revisit building resilience to drone attacks. National defense planners may shift more resources into airspace monitoring. Layered defenses, electronic warfare, and warning systems even far from the front line. Ultimately, the message is clear. Power projection, symbolism, high-value assets, they all matter as much in war as tanks and trenches, maybe more. So to wrap up, the strike on Moscow's $1.2 billion towers stands as a landmark event in this war. From the gleaming exterior to the luxury interior, from the performance of the drone strike to the safety features challenged, to the unique impulse behind selecting such a target, and to the cost-value analysis, the story is rich and instructive. It is a reminder that in the modern age, even icons of business and power are vulnerable. As we continue tracking the conflict, this event may turn out to be a turning point in how capitals, business hubs, and high-value urban assets are perceived in terms of war risk. Thank you for watching. If you found this breakdown useful, please hit the like button, subscribe to Conflict Zone for more detailed reviews and analysis, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. Stay safe, stay informed until next time.